Okay, today is Saturday, and I heard about this guy named uh, uh, he's Benjamin Franklin. I believe his name was Benjamin Franklin. Okay, he's on the $100 bill. Okay, and I believe he said this. I believe he's the one who said this. He said that was it him? He was an inventor. Okay, he was an inventor. All right. And so he said that the difference between other person and him is that he failed more than other people. Okay, and that's how he learned. All right. And so then I thought to myself, I just thought about that, and and trading has taught me something about something that I didn't know. Okay, and uh, something really is a good thing about knowing about trading. Okay, and that concept is called resiliency. Resiliency is a very good thing. It really is. The faster I am resilient, the better it is because it allows me to recover and then try something else. Okay, because when I fail something, then I have to because the right solution may be one out of. See, it's okay. So there's a concept called a needle in a haystack. Okay, needle in a haystack. So what happens is when there is a needle in a haystack, there's a lot of haystacks, and there's only a single needle. That means most likely if I pick up something, if I look somewhere, that's a failure. If I look here, that's a failure. If I look here, that's a failure. If I pick something up, that's a failure. And if I pick through everything in a haystack, that's going to be an overwhelming amount of failures. Okay, in the face of picking that one needle in a haystack, right? And so trading has been that way. So the faster that I become, the faster that I become a failure, then the faster that I accept and overcome these failures, then it allows me to try something else. Okay, so that's why it's like in psychology, when people are scared of snakes, they take them to snakes, so they become overcome their fear. If they don't overcome from their fear, they will always be suppressed about that. It's like it's like I didn't realize that riding a bicycle could be so dangerous. Okay, in the green belt, in the nature area, there are snakes, and there are people who are walking by, and what I have to be aware of, it's not the snakes, it's the people. Okay, because when I'm riding along, people are walking along too, and so when I run into them, I could fall down and break a clavicle and have to put like 4 screws in it. One of them is still in here. Okay, so I have to bounce back from them. Okay, and I have to go, and then and then I have to go. Then I have to go after a broken clavicle, put a suit on, and go for an interview. I'll go for an interview in California and get a job and get it fixed. Okay, because I have no insurance and no money, right? So what happens is that if I am fearful of the snake, then psychologically speaking, in order for me to overcome it, then I have to be around it so that I can accept the fact that there's snakes and I overcome that. In trading, what I've noticed is that the aversion of losing, the aversion of losing keeps me held down. Okay, it keeps me held down, and so resiliency resiliency um, resiliency is an integral part because there's going to be a lot of failures, okay, in trading, and so the faster I overcome. It's like this. Another angle of approach is this. Okay, so I could theoretically from last week not recover. Okay, it can be that way. I've heard of I've heard of these people. I mean, there are people who will not get over these certain things. Okay, I personally suffer through this. Okay, because I could not find a solution to it. When I was divorced, I had to constantly I had to figure it out. I want to figure it out. I want to figure out why there was a divorce in my family in my family with my kids. I had to figure it out. So I spent over 2 decades trying to figure this out because I it was that important for me. Okay, but throughout these cycles, after like losing my job and going nuts trying to figure this out, the only way for me to recover from that, to solve this riddle, there were lots of little bumps, pullbacks in life, like trading. It's a trend, and it goes like this. And I have to absorb all these little pullbacks until I get to the point to fully understand what's going on. And in order for me to get to that point, I had to be resilient. And I had to be resilient very fast. If I'm not resilient, something could come along when I am 20 years old or 10 years old, which is called like a suppression of childhood uh, catastrophic event to occur that psychologically programs me into being a being subservient to that traumatized situation that occurred to me in the past, right? And so trading is very much the same way. And the only way for me to recover from that is to realize what it is, accept it. Okay, I have to identify it and I have to accept it and quickly find a solution for it and resolve it as fast as possible. It's the same thing as interaction with other people when I'm working with somebody. When I'm working with somebody, I have to be in the same place with that same individual. But whatever the situation is that causes that angst, the anguish, and the and this very very tough psychological trigger to occur, I have to overcome it and accept the fact that it does happen, and then move on from that. That's resiliency, okay? And what I've noticed is that I could have suffered through this. It would only cost me time. It's like I believe that's the reason why I was paid last year, but it took this long because I had a hard time accepting the fact that I lost that challenge, even though it was such a trivial issue. Okay, FOMC came by and I held on to it and I just lost, and I didn't want to do anything about it. I didn't want to put any stop loss in it. I just allowed it to, I just allowed it to fail. Okay, instead of accepting the fact and quickly resolving the issue. So, in trading, resiliency is so astronomically important because it helps me to quickly absorb it before my time runs out. Okay, human beings have a lifespan of roughly about 80 years. Okay, roughly about 80 years, somewhere around 80 years, right? And so within that time frame, when somebody starts early or later or whatever a situation is, then resiliency is an integral part of speeding up the process of learning something, so that whatever catastrophic event that occurs, I accept the fact. See, I have these siblings who did atrocities upon me, but I have to accept it. I'm still living in that atrocity, but I've accepted it and I've moved on. Okay, I moved on. Otherwise, if I don't move on, and I look at all the people who have wronged me, it could eat away at me. I could literally be a rotten core inside, rotting away. Okay, in order to survive, I have to allow my core being to accept the fact and move on, and then heal those wounds, the rotten part of me to be healed through my liver. Okay, the liver needs to fix it, and toss it out of my system so that whatever intrusion that occurs within myself, okay, psychologically speaking, as well as trading is concerned, then I have to be resilient, accept the fact, learn from it, and quickly recover so that I can employ a different solution. But if I don't recover fast enough, then the resiliency is slowed. And by the time that I recover, if it's too slow, it'll be too late. So resiliency is such an integral part of no. It's like I heard about some of these people. Some people are afraid to click. They're afraid to take the trade, but you can't do that in trading. You have to click. You have to be able to quickly trade. But if you're fearful and you can't do anything about it, that means that you're not able to. You're not resilient. Okay, you have to accept the fact that there's going to be losses, so you have to click. So some people are apparently the word is like some people are scared to kick the mouse or something like that, right? And so when somebody's afraid, when somebody's afraid, it's like never venturing out to explore what's out there, the possibilities to make whatever the solution is. The solution, the solution to the problem of that's confining that individual is the freeing part of it is exploring, expanding, about taking advantage of it. Okay, instead of saying, "Well, I'm trapped, I can't do anything," right? So resiliency is a very, very important part of making progress towards the right solution. Okay? So somebody who's very, very successful said this: the difference between me, the very successful person, and the person who's not, is that I've failed so many times. So this is Michael Jordan said that. He said that he failed more than he made. Okay, and that's the only difference between the people who are. I mean, he's a preeminent basketball player, and the difference between him and the other is that he failed more and he accepted it and he moved on. If you don't move on and you're psychologically damaged, if you're psychologically damaged because there's a problem, uh, then, then life will be you got to bounce back. That's what life is. So there's a saying that says, okay, so uh, you just you just you just what you do is you just shake off, you just brush off the little things of life, right? Little things can be like losing an eye. Okay, I lost an eye, right? But if you don't move from it, if you don't move on from it, you could be like your core could be rotten. It'll be like it'll be rotting away. Okay, you'll be self-absorbed and you don't move on. So that's something that I've observed about trading. Okay, it helped me to see the the integral and the important part of being resilient. Being resilient is such an important part of trading. After a loss, it could be damaging. It could be devastating. Some people never recover, right? Some people will lose and go up to a 100-story building and they'll just jump off. Okay, it's rare, but it does happen. They will never recover. They don't have that resiliency that allows them to recover from that situation. And they just jump off, they just move on, they just quit. In trading, you have to get like knocked down over and over and over and over and over. And I'll tell you what, personally speaking, I get knocked down like lots of times each day. And I've been doing that for the past 5+ years. The critical part is getting back up and doing it again and doing it again, being knocked down. See, when you get it, see, the benefit of getting a C average is this. When I turn in a homework or an exam, I know that I'm gonna miss quite a few. Okay, I accept it. Okay, that's the critical component of that's the only good part about getting C's. I got used to being told that I'm good for nothing. It helped me to prepare for what trading is, because trading will knock me down and beat me down over and over and over until I master these two things, which is mastering the psychology and mastering the strategy. Okay, those are the two things. Okay, but until those things are mastered, that's why psychiatrists they go through the medical program, but apparently it takes another 8 years to become a psychiatrist. Wow.